Thanks for your time here on Sky News Australia this morning, Mr. Rebello. And I want to start with that story that's running this morning about the United Nations possibly intervening in the legal case over the controversial gas project in WA. What do you think of the UN trying to get involved with that?
Well, thanks very much, Alex, and it's good to be here. Look, I'm not one to get involved in those legal matters, but I'll just say, I've always been a supporter of Australia and Australian sovereignty, and I think it'll be interesting to see where this leads, but we will do and I think Australian governments should always do what's in Australia's best interest, and that should be the starting point.
It comes after the International Court of Justice earlier this year warned countries that overlook their climate responsibilities, they could be breaching international law. How does that play into the debate we're seeing in our politics right now?
Yeah, well, thank you very much, Alex. I think I'll just start by clarifying my position because I think there's been some misunderstanding of approaches. Earlier this week, we had our Liberal Party room, which, took a discussion on net zero. It was not a vote, it was a discussion on net zero. And I put forward a view which said that I think the starting point needs to be that we don't support net zero by 2050. And the reason we shouldn't do that is because we have the licence to step away from it and put our own way forward because Labor's plan's just failing. It's failing on both emissions. Emissions are not reducing, and it's failing on energy prices as well, which are going up by almost 40%. And so that was the starting point. And what I'd say is we have said as a party room that we are committed to the Paris Agreement, which we, as you've seen from the position that we've taken yesterday, are committed to. And part of that is a pursuit of carbon neutrality, which is not inconsistent with the new energy plan that we've put forward. So we will do what's right for Australians. And I think that is, as we saw in Susan Lee's press conference with Dan Tehan, that is fundamentally our number one goal.
What do you say to those critics who believe the Liberals' new position is merely to keep the coalition intact for fear of being out of government for years and years to come?
The position we took in the party room is the position that we, as a collective group of individuals who represent all corners of this country, it was our response in reflecting the views of our constituents. It was our response in making sure we're doing what's right for Australia. It's not just about politics, Alex. Energy is national security, and energy policy should be considered as national security policy. And this is something, we've come to this decision on the basis of that. So it's very much driven by what's right for Australia. Families in my electorate, I live on the southern Gold Coast and I represent the southern Gold Coast. Families, small businesses, individuals, they're really struggling with the cost of power. We're putting that front of centre while we're also making sure that we're reducing emissions in a way that's responsible and that's taking everybody on the journey with us.
But if that's your view, why wasn't it the policy before?
Well, I've been elected since this last election, and I can't speak to previous discussions in the Liberal Party, but we've gone through a process over some time now. We've had a series of meetings, and these are the policies that we've put forward. We've had a very frank discussion in the party room. It obviously went for a bit of time, but it was an opportunity, and this can only happen in the Liberal Party room, where everybody has their say, puts their view forward, and then we come to a united position, and that's where we're at.
Obviously, there's going to be discussions tomorrow just to kind of clarify how the Liberal Party position and the Nationals position comes together, so there's unity within the coalition. How confident are you that agreement can be reached? And also, I guess that you can put this to bed so you can focus on other issues.
Well, I'm very confident that we can work with the National Party on this, and I've had some fantastic relationships with national MPs over the course of my first 6 months in office. And what I would say is that, yes, those negotiations are occurring. We've come to a Liberal Party room position, and that Liberal Party room position has come through as a result of our internal discussions. Now, as you've suggested, there are those discussions occurring with the National Party. I'm very confident we can come to a position because ultimately both the Liberals and the Nationals are focused on getting a responsible energy plan which can actually make sure we address affordability issues, which we're seeing Labor has totally neglected, whilst also maintaining this view of wanting to effectively reduce emissions, which is not what's happening under this Labor government.
I guess the Labour government would say, and have been saying, that the rise in prices is down to global events beyond their control. And also, I guess, in terms of the Liberal Party's popularity moving forward, are you not concerned about opinion polls showing that young people still broadly are very much in favour of tackling the climate crisis?
Young people have told me that they want to see, and you're absolutely right, they're wanting to see emissions reduced. Now, we are not walking away from that. We are saying that we still want to pursue the reduction of emissions, but we want to do it in a way that's realistic. What this Labor government has done in committing to net zero by 2050 is unrealistic. The experts are saying that countries such as Australia who have committed to this are not actually able to meet it. It's unrealistic. So we're being upfront and honest with the Australian people and saying that we will work to reduce emissions, but we're going to do it the Australian way in a manner which actually preserves our livelihood and makes sure that we've got energy prices that are not continuing to rise at these exorbitant levels like we're seeing under Labor.
OK. Leon Rebello, really appreciate your time here on Sky News this morning. Thank you.